Deborah Johnson. My friends call me DJ, so that's all you people. I serve on the Board of Trustees of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Spartanburg. And we welcome you to this place. And I'm glad everybody got through this morning storm, so I'm a little sleepy. It was wicked. So we strive to become a beloved community of warmth, love, and support across all our differences. This is a welcoming congregation where everyone is welcome as we each are. So if you're visiting for the first time, we'd love to meet you, talk to you, answer questions if we can. If you look at the chair in front of you, there's a pocket there. You should find a visitor's card. Please feel welcome to fill that out. And as the offering plate is passed by, you can just drop it in there. Now, I have a little public announcement here for the ushers, because I'm one of those ushers. When that plate comes by you, if you have nothing to put in it because you've already given, or you do online, or maybe it's not your Sunday, and we're standing there and we're trying to figure out, and you're staring like, okay, is this person praying? Are they meditating? Do I need to check their pulse in case I need to call 911? It would be helpful for the ushers to, just kind of, you can touch the plate and give out good vibes and blessings, or just kind of look at us and like, we're good. It just takes the stress off the ushers. I tell you, I don't need any more stress in my life. I got a checkup coming up. My doctor wrote my blood pressure down. So, we come by. It's not too bad in the middle, but these little corners here, they get you sometimes. You're like, okay, do I go on? We will gladly just walk on, just a little high there. So when they come by, you can think about that. There is a lot happening in our congregation. So in your bulletin, if you haven't had a chance to look at it yet, in the back, if you're an older member, not older, but if you've been here a while, put it that way, that connects with all kinds of cool things you can get into and just cause all kinds of good trouble. If you're new, please look through that, because we can't always tell everything that's going on up here. I will share a couple of things. First off, the annual fund drive. That's a biggie for the church. A couple weeks ago, we had a really enthusiastic kickoff. There was cake, there was bubbly, there was conversations. The goal this year is $260,000 from 120 households. Now, if you happen to be 121, they will not turn you away, I assure you. But that's our goal. And that fund takes care of the church through the year. It takes care of our maintenance. It takes care of programs we want to do. It's really important. So get those cards in. There's intent to give cards. Some people do it online. No problem there. Our last numbers that we had says that we have pledged so far $158,404 from 73 households. So we are on our way. And as a reminder, our little tree over here, if you're wondering what the heck is that, because you haven't seen it yet, those leaves represent people who have already pledged. We want to see a really bushy tree, so help us out there. The fiscal year starts July 1st, so they're trying to get everything counted so we'll know what's happening. Number 2, path to membership class. That's very important. If you're considering joining our little fun bunch here and you have questions, this is the class for you. You can ask questions. They usually know the answers. If they don't, they'll try to find some. And if they can't find them, they may make up some. But either way, it's a cool class to get into. It will be happening on Sunday, March 16th, 2025, next month, starting at 12:30. That's right after the service. Lunch will be served, and there's childcare. I mean, that is a good deal. You get to eat, and somebody else takes care of your kids. So just join that, and ask your questions, get your answers. I had a couple more things to talk about. However, it's written into the bulletin here, so I can skip over that. So at this point, all I gotta say is that there's lots happening. Please look at things to get involved in. Annual fund is going on. We want to see lots of leaves, maybe a squirrel or a bird, who knows, something. So we know what's happening. Path to membership class, March 16th. Sign-up sheets are on the whiteboard out there in the foyer, and you can go online. I think it's membership at uucs.org. It's in the paper. And one other thing, the registration for the Church Mountain Retreat, which is in April, is now open. Please don't forget that. We expect to have a really cool bunch up there. And at this time, I just want to thank you all for putting up with me and making this place of warmth and welcome. And we will turn it over. I think next coming up to talk to you is Lee about the auction. Come on down, Lee.
Come on down. Do I get to bid? Speaking of bidding, it is now time for the UUCS auction, which we're very excited about. Normally it happens in the fall, but because of the hurricane, we have moved it to the spring this year. So we hope you will join us on March 29th from 2 to 4. We'll be in Wild Hall. Everyone is invited, even if you're like, I don't really like auctions, I don't need anything all that big in my life. We will have a live auction. We will have food and drink. You can just come and hang out. You don't have to bid on a single thing. We will also have a silent auction though. That's always really fun because we have smaller items, usually gift baskets, stuff like that, sometimes gift cards. We also have raffle tickets, which are $1 each. That's always really fun for kids, any kind of small items. And then we also have my favorite thing, which is events. Events kind of fall into two categories. One, people can provide meals. For example, my family always provides a vegetarian chili. 8 people can sign up. They can fill out the form, pay, I think it's like $20 per person, and come have my husband's famous vegetarian chili. We also do classes usually. Virginia once did a cast iron cooking class, which I took and promptly forgot everything about. But still, you can go and learn something new, or it could just be something fun. We already have our annual cornhole tournament on the list. So, there's always fun things to do. Dates this year for events are gonna be first come, first serve though. So how do you donate items? Because what we're looking for right now especially are donations. The auction is run completely on things that the congregation donates. So there are going to be 2 online forms. One will be for items. This is items big or small. Say you have a Bowflexer, say you have a tiny painting, say you have just a coffee maker. Fill out that form, tell us what it is, the approximate value, and also how to contact you if we have questions. Then we'll also have an event form. That's gonna be a little bit more detail. It's gonna be, what is your event? When is your event? And those events are gonna be on a first come, first serve basis. We have had in the past sometimes 2 big meals happening on the same night. We're trying to avoid that. If you put in a date, nobody else is gonna have an event on that date. So, you can go into the Unison or the Happenings to get these forms. You can see me or some of my co-chairs, Virginia McLean or Kimberly Hall, before or after service. One of us will be here every Sunday, and we can help you fill out that form. Or you can email us at auction@uucs.org. So, if you have any questions, I'm gonna be here every Sunday until the auction. Feel free to ask. And now we're gonna have Robin Carter talk to us about our mission objective number 3.
Yes, more announcements. Yay, good morning. I'm Robin Carter, and I'm a member of the Long Range Planning Committee where I head up the work for Mission Objective 3, which is the result of our 2-year Mission Vision Covenant process. For the last 2 weeks, we've heard reports on our Mission Objective 1, Operation Facelift from Fred, Mission Objective 2, Have Fun Be Together from Mary and Virginia, and I trust that you have found those updates informative, clarifying, and inspiring. So to add to our communication efforts, I'm here to give an update on Mission Objective 3, which is to strengthen our interconnectedness through how we communicate with each other and work together, or just interconnectedness for short. We are on an adventure at UUCS, and successful adventures require all of us working together with clear lines of communication, encouragement for everyone to bring forward their best ideas, and problem solve together. So to strengthen our interconnectedness through how we communicate with each other and work together, we have done the following. We have redeveloped the whiteboard in the sanctuary lobby to make communication less jumbled, more clear, and more effective. And it has worked. Our next design project is to update the communication tool you hold in your hand right now to apply some of those same design concepts to your Connect in a more streamlined, user-friendly way. We have also utilized periodic surveys to measure how communication is working and how we can improve it. We have had over 150 responses to surveys last year, and there will be more coming soon. We took your picture. Working together works best when we know each other, and the more of this that there are, the more challenging that becomes. This fall, Bernie Holiday took over 80 pictures, and we populated our private church database with your beautiful faces so we can all know each other better. And if you missed those opportunities but want help uploading your own selfie, we can help you with that. We have pursued a gentle campaign to lovingly encourage you to give us permission to text you. Privacy regulations for group texting changed last year, requiring an opt-in. So thank you to everyone who has agreed so far. And if you haven't yet, there are instructions on little slips of paper in the foyer where you can say you want to opt into those texts. We may also follow up with a legal single text so that we can ask you if we can legally send you group texts. We are a church trying to communicate, and we have recently formalized a UUCS Communications Committee, which is a big deal. We expect great things to come out of this committee in addition to the wonderful job they already do at keeping our services available online. And you may have noticed an increased effort to post on social media to help keep folks in the know about church activities and ways to connect. So what's next? In this new year, we're going to take all of this work 2 steps further. First, by doing an every 10-year bylaw mandated full bylaw review. Our goal is to assess how the rules that govern us as a congregation can help us work even better together. This may include how committees are formed, how leaders are chosen, or how we work together. We want everyone to have a copy of the bylaws so you know what they say and understand why we do how we do. And so be on the lookout for another survey coming soon that will include an easy access link for you to read the bylaws. Church nerds unite, right? Let's all read the bylaws. Second, we are thinking hard about how all of our committees can work together to recruit and organize volunteers instead of potentially competing with each other for people power. We want to exercise our greatest strengths, which is you. If you have ideas about how to improve our church interconnectedness, we're all ears. Listening to each other is a big part of how we stay connected and move forward. I'll leave you this morning with a quote from Charles Eames. He's one half of an incredible husband and wife duo, architectural, industrial design team. And he said, "Eventually, everything connects. People, ideas, objects. The quality of the connections is the key to quality." Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Mary Underwood. I am your worship associate today. I'm so glad to see all of you. For this morning's lighting of the chalice, we're going to read from the Western prophetic tradition and then from the brilliant Audre Lorde. Love your neighbor as yourself. We can practice being gentle with each other by being what the piece of ourselves that is hardest to hold. And now is the time for one of our most sacred traditions. In front of us here, we have the rippling bowl, surrounded by stones and shells, which we come to the front, either literally or in spirit and heart, to choose a shell or a stone to drop into the bowl to represent whatever it is we wish to hold, this community to hold with us. That can be something joyful that we wish to use to brighten our lives and those around us, or it can be a piece of pain that we're holding that we need help carrying. Whatever it is that you would like this congregation to hold with you, you are welcome to bring symbolically into this bowl. If for whatever reason you're online, or you are unable to come to the front, or you don't wish to come to the front, please know that you are still held by us, and all that you need to do is spend this second and send whatever from your heart you would like us to hold for you.
May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be whole. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be whole. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be whole. May we be whole.
We are not a congregation that has a dogma or a creed. We are a congregation that invites everyone, regardless of their personal, spiritual beliefs, to come and be with us. However, we are very committed to the promise that we crafted as a congregation that is about who we want to be in this world, for ourselves, with one another, and for the larger world. Please join me in reading the covenant. With courage we say, we are a people of faith and hope. Together we covenant to strive to become our better selves, to honor both the critical mind and the generous heart, to prove that diversity need not mean divisiveness, and to respond to systems of violence and oppression with the power of a love beyond belief. And now comes the time where we greet one another, where we share this moment with one another, spend this second telling one another how much we value this community and each and every person who belongs to it or who is visiting it. Please always respect the people and whatever it is they wish. If they're a hugger, great. If they would rather sit and wave, that's cool too. Please feel very comfortable in your own heart to set whatever boundaries you need to for wherever your comfort level is with greeting. But please just open your heart as we spend this minute together. And please return quickly as you can when the music starts. One of the things that blew me away about this community when I joined it was not only the myriad of gifts that this congregation holds, but the really amazing, there's not a good word for it, amount of sharing of those gifts that this congregation gives. Well more than you expect most places. This is a time where we share our material gifts. And of course, we live in a world where those material gifts are necessary to keep everything running. And we appreciate all the material gifts that anyone shares, whatever they are able to. But this is also a moment where I want you to remember what other gifts you bring. What other gifts you bring and share, or maybe what other gifts you want to share but haven't quite felt like you could yet. And I want you to see this as an invitation to share whatever it is inside of you that you want to share with this congregation. Thank you.
For the earth forever turning, for the skies for every sea, for our lives, for all we cherish, sing we our joyful song of peace. For the mountains, hills, and pastures, for their silent majesty, for the stars, for all the heavens, sing we our joyful song of peace. For the sun, for rain and thunder, for the seasons' harmony, for our lives, for all we cherish, sing we our joyful praise to thee. For the world we raise our voices, for the home that gives us birth. In our joy we sing, returning home to our blue-green hills of earth.
And now, for the loving kindness meditation. Please feel free to just sit with the words or to join me in saying them. We begin by expressing love for ourselves. May I be free of suffering. May I be at peace. May I know the joy of my own true nature. May I be healed. May I be a source of healing for all others. May I know love. Then we express love for those for whom we care. May you be free of suffering. May you be at peace. May you know the joy of your own true nature. May you be healed. May you be a source of healing for all others. May you know love. We express love for those who we find difficult in small ways and in large. May you be free of suffering. May you be at peace. May you know the joy of your own true nature. May you be healed. May you be a source of healing for all others. May you know love. And finally, we express love for all beings. May we be free of suffering. May we be at peace. May we know the joy of our own true nature. May we be healed. May we be a source of healing for all others. May we know love.
I went to go visit somebody in the hospital. And I came in to check on them. How are you? What's going on? What are the doctors saying? And they didn't answer my questions. They said, sit down. And I was taken aback because I was there to check in on them, and then I had other places to go and other people to check on too. And they said, sit down. So I sat down. My job is to be with people. That I can get so busy running everywhere to be with everybody that I spend time being with nobody. So this person was calling me back to my purpose. When we talk about all that's happening here and how busy this place is, that is coming out of our connected energy with each other, our interconnectedness. And the work that we've done now for many years in dialogue and discussion and silence and collective action to build a shared sense of purpose. When we talk about the annual fund and the way that that is an effort that takes all of us in order to fuel what we're doing forward. When Robin stands and offers us this stunning list of projects that her team has undertaken and already accomplished. When we look in this bulletin at all the ways that we can engage in our facilities and grounds and our learning and development and social action, all these things, and especially when we're living in a world that feels like a whirlwind and trying to find ways to engage meaningfully. Even though all of that is coming from deep work to find purpose, we, like every other human being, are at risk of getting wrapped up in the busyness and losing focus. And if we do that, the effectiveness of our action will wane also. It will become diffuse and scattered. It will lack the care that we desire, the quality of connection that Robin spoke to us about. So I'm going to ask you to turn to the front of your bulletin. There's a little italicized section near the top that says, welcome. And then there's a statement, and I want to ask you to read this with me. This is the purpose statement that we developed in 2 years of dialogue and visioning as a congregation. This reminds us of what we're trying to do, what our purpose is with all of this activity, especially in a time that feels chaotic. Read it with me. We seek to create a world of mutual thriving for all beings, where everyone has enough and no one has to be afraid. Together we strive to build this beloved community, growing in wisdom, care, justice, service, and wonder, open to all. Join me in silence. is a place where people disagree about many things. And the disagreement can be accentuated because everybody here is a free thinker and an independent mind, fully equipped with the spiritual gift of stubbornness. We are not here for agreement. We are here for each other's mutual thriving. And as much as we can generate that here, our intent is to share that with the wider world. Doesn't it feel good to remember that purpose? To just touch that quietly together again. To remember why we're here and what we offer each other. Now I have to brag for a moment, if you'll just indulge me. Because it's a really sobering but funny exchange this week. I had to really work hard to figure out which exchange of all the exchanges to talk about this Sunday. You don't have to be tepid in your laughter. If we can't laugh about this, what are we going to do? The exchange went like this. A representative of our country was making an argument about love. And they said, well, it's a series of concentric circles. You love your family, your friends, other people, and then maybe some other people. The truth is that a lot of us operate this way, but carried to its logical conclusions, this is effectively morality of the mafia. I'm going to take care of my family and maybe some other people. Someone who knows a lot about the mafia, the Pope himself. There are plenty of folks in the Catholic Church that are complicit with the mafia, but there are plenty that have stood up to the great risk of their life, and the current Pope is definitely one of them. So respect there. He said, hang on a second, that's not how it works. He said, there's this story you should think about called the Good Samaritan, and I thought, hot damn. The Pope is quoting UUCS this week. I do think it deserves an ovation, Mary. That's a story we've been working with. And the reason we've been working with it is because it's a story deep in the Western tradition. It's a part of the tradition that we're a part of. And it is a story that subverts the narrative of you've got to believe in a certain thing, and instead insists we need to find a way to love each other, particularly the very people who we would sideline. That there are going to be moments in our life when that's the very person that we want to love us, and so, following the golden rule, that's who we need to love also. It is a very powerful story that undermines hierarchy and authority and tries to force us into thinking about how much we just need each other. Robin's interconnectedness, the quality of that interconnectedness. So we've done this strange exercise all month, and I'm going to inflict it on you again. Sounds like you're starting to love it now. I'm going to ask you to turn to your literal neighbor here and to just look in their face And if you find that there's somebody left out because there are 3 of you, then we're pushing the boundaries, right? It's okay to count up. And here's what I want to ask you to do, to not use words. I can't control your giggling. But I want to ask you to just look in the face of your neighbor and try to behold their humanity, them in themselves, the way in which they are beautiful like you, and you see them, and the way in which they are so distinct from you, not you, don't look like you, differently beautiful just like you. Does it make sense? To see the same and the different at the same time in this beautiful being who you have the great good fortune to have chosen to sit beside you this Sunday. Good? Behold. Try not to use words. It can be uncomfortable. It is okay to blink. Don't look at me, look at each other. So hard. This is what spirituality is about. It's about practice. The ideas and belief are just a way to get there. It's the habits we create that are what really matter. Now I want to ask you just to say to the person into whose eyes you are gazing and who is gazing at you, that little concluding line from the metta meditation that Erin sang for us. May you be well. May you be well. Our purpose is mutual thriving. We are trying to create a world in which we can say with each other and be backed up by our actions, may you be well. In whatever circumstance you find yourself, may you be well. And in whatever way I can support you in that, may I choose to do that. And where I can't figure it out, may somebody come along and help me so that you may be well. And likewise, may I also be well. Just as you. It seems so simple and obvious that if I make space for you and support you, and you make space for me and support me, then there is space for both of us and we are supported. What matters when we do this is that we really see each other, so that we can offer real support to each other, real care. When we say, Black Lives Matter, this is an affirmation of the lives of people who are black and of all of us. Because what we are saying is, you in your difference from me are beautiful and deserve thriving. Just like me. And that is by seeing you that we can best achieve that. I'll give you a funny example from a colleague of mine who has worked with me for more than a decade in convening groups and holding dialogues and challenging us all to value each other in our differences. She says, listen, Scott, if I ever go missing, please tell the police that I am a black woman, because it will narrow the field of who they're looking for. And I want for them to find me. It matters who I am. That conditions my existence. And it shapes how you relate to me. I want for you to see me clearly for who I am and for who I say that I am, so that you can help sustain my thriving. And this is not exclusive to one group. This is something that is mutual, that we share. When we say trans lives matter, it means the lives of every person who's trans and non-binary and who has the courage to live that truth and to live it out in the world in whatever way they choose. That person, those people's lives matter. And by valuing their life, my life also is valued. The way I say it to my kids when they get in fights, or the way my kids say it to me when my wife and I get in fights, and I won't tell you who has to remind who more often in our house. When you disrespect somebody else, you're disrespecting yourself. You're tearing yourself down. But when you respect somebody, you're building two people up, yourself and them. This is the life of mutuality that we're trying to create. There's something that gets out of whack. There's this trick that human beings learned a long time ago. It's very powerful, very seductive, because it works so well. It is the opposite of mutuality. It's the opposite of respect. What is so crushing about it, what's so damning about it, is that it is so effective. We could name episode after episode, era after era, dynasty after dynasty across human history that deployed this one tactic that is the opposite of mutuality. And we could see how well it worked. We might even think about things that we've done, even what it felt like to do it, and understand why this is so seductive. Remember that quote from Audre Lorde, the start of the service. A way that we can learn to be gentle with each other is by holding that part of ourselves that would cause hurt. This trick that human beings have learned is called scapegoating. When you identify a group, especially a group that's probably too weak to do very much back, low risk of retaliation. You draw a circle around them and say, here's our problem. This is where our issue is coming from. And if we could just deal with these people, everything would be great. This is bullying. It is also a lie. It is a very effective ploy to avoid dealing with the real issues that would, if we could resolve them, make for mutuality. Things that will require a lot of hard work, but could be very life-giving if we would just do them. And instead, we find an easy out by focusing on a group that can do very little in return and pouring all of our anxieties on them. There's so many examples of this, I don't even need to give you any. And a lot of people in this room have known the feeling of having that circle drawn around you. That's how real and present this is. Our purpose is to build a world of mutuality. We do that through love, through sharing, through interconnectedness, through communication, through valuing each other across disagreements. All of these wonderful, very humane acts. But a question rises when scapegoating shows its ugly head. What do we do? What do we do when our kindness, our strategy, just gets bulldozed by bullying? And that willingness to take the cheap, easy, effective way of targeting some people for personal gain. If our guide is the golden rule, to treat other people the way we want to be treated, or this teaching that's deep in the Western tradition, love your neighbor as yourself, then the answer to the question is uncomfortably not hard to find. If someone is scapegoating someone else, what should we do? And the answer is, if that were us, what would we want someone to do for us? And we do that. If someone were coming for me, and I did not have the strength or the standing or the legal cover to push back, I would hope somebody would come and stand beside me and stand with me. We're in quite a time. We are going to be on our purpose to create a world of mutual thriving for all beings, where everyone has enough and no one has to be afraid. As much news as there is right now, there is news of people striving for that. Pay attention to that news. But I also want to challenge you. On a week where that same political leader I talked about earlier visited Auschwitz, and the next day said that far-right political parties should have more standing in Europe. Hear that very clearly. My challenge to us is to be ready to stand with the scapegoat. We must love our neighbors as ourselves.
Please join me in hymn number 170 in your gray hymnal. We are a gentle and great people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a gentle and great people,
From the book, North of Maine, Spartanburg's Historic Black Neighborhoods of North Dean Street, Gas Bottom, and the Back of the College. You only have to look to the neighboring city of Greenville to see the dramatic racial population swings that can be brought about by gentrification. Black population in the city just 30 miles to Spartanburg's west dropped from 35% to 19% in 3 decades. Suddenly, there were fears that no Greenville City Council district could reliably elect a black representative. For now, the black population in the city of Spartanburg remains relatively stable at about 45%. Spartanburg in 2024 has, for the first time, a majority black city council, its second black mayor, a black fire chief, and its second black police chief. Its largest university has a black president. In recent years, there have been 2 black city school superintendents. A colorful mural with the words "Black Lives Matters" fills the street in front of City Hall. The city now celebrates the Juneteenth holiday with several days of activities. Nevertheless, the legacy of racism and indifference to the value of black neighborhoods haunts the city of Spartanburg. Black families of all income levels struggle to find affordable housing in the city. In the places where black families relocated during the era of neighborhood clearance, poverty levels are achingly high. In Highland, where the black population approaches 90%, median family income was $11,189 in the 2020 census. In comparison, in the heart of Converse Heights, where the white population is 96%, it was $98,545.
Just want to ask you to look at that last paragraph one more time. That is a reading about striving for mutuality out of a long history of scapegoating. One of our members said, "I love our covenant. But it takes courage to say those words." And we added that. With courage we say, we are a people of faith and hope.